All right, and now it's time for the next run, Cow the Kangaroo Round 2 with Rhythm Senior. Or
Sure, senior.
is it SR? I'm sorry. I'm
It's a
sorry.
sorry, that's fine. All right. Well, hello. This is KO. We're just gonna get started right away, and I'll talk a bit about the game as I do the first couple levels. So let's start in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So you may have noticed that the game is in fact in some weird language that you've never seen before. It is in Polish because this game is Polish and I am also Polish. And yeah, it's also the first release of the game, the retail release, which has the most skips. So that's cool. So as you may be able to notice, this is like your typical-ish collectathon platformer thing. Here I'm doing a little skip. It's called hut skip. It skips a cutscene at the hut. I'll be just making my way over here, dodge another cutscene trigger. Gonna try to... oh, there we go. So if you press roll, the frame you touch the ground in water, you can roll in water. And that skipped another like puzzle sort of section tutorial bit where the game teaches you how to throw. So I guess more mechanics introductions. There's fireflies, which look like bees, and they act as tutorials and also as keys to doors. So we'll be seeing that a couple times. So I guess about the game, this is like, as I said, a collectathon platformer. There's a couple main sort of collectibles that you can see on the left. There's ducats or coins, there's stars, and there's crystals. And also there's boomerangs, which we use to just throw at enemies. So crystals are completely useless for the run. They just unlock some extra minigames. Stars unlock extra abilities that KO has. You can get like, I think 300 of them for all the abilities, and one unlocks each 50 stars. We're only be going to getting the first one, which is the glide hat, which is quite useful. And then there's ducats. So those are the main collectible. I'm also going to do a skip here to skip freeing a beaver from a cage. So we never start the watermill, but we still make it up. So the ducats we need 3,000 of to progress the story, because the story of the game is the evil hunter caught a bunch of animals and now we need to free them. But to get to Hunter we need to go to the abandoned town, and there's an NPC who blocks our path and says 3,000 ducats or else nothing, because this game was translated very well. So we'll be getting those. Luckily for us, we don't actually have to physically collect 3,000 of them. There's 2 levels that reward 1,000 each just for completing them, but we will still need to grab 1,000 of them manually on our own. So yeah, that's the basic structure. You know, do all the levels. Good stuff. We're coming up on the end of the first level, Beaver's Forest. The game is sort of split into like 4 or 5 main sort of level themes. So the first one is the forest. It's definitely the most boring one to do like as a runner, but it does have a fair amount of stuff to it, so it's not, you know, it's not all bad. The first 2 levels are definitely the most boring of them all, because well, yeah, this is the Great Escape. And can you guess why it's called that? I could never. But luckily enough for us, the auto-scroller bits, well, first off, aren't that long, luckily. There have been a lot worse in the other games. And also, because of the required collectibles that we need to get, actually the auto-scrollers give you a lot of them, give you a lot of coins that you would otherwise miss out on because of skips and other stuff. So it actually works out pretty well. But yeah, I'll be just running forward for the next like 20 seconds, so if you have anything to read, now would be a decent time.
Sure, we have a $40 donation from Anonymous who says, "Love these events raising money for a great cause. Put this towards Cherry Blossom Color Season for the Katamari Forever song."
Alright, thank you. So here's our first encounter with the boomerangs and also tentacle things for some reason. Yeah, so boomerangs obviously allow us to hit things at range, but they also have another use that you'll be seeing soon enough. First thing though, we're gonna free this beaver and try to throw boomerangs at some bees, as you do. And yeah, here's a little strat. So there's 4 nuts here that we have to knock down, or we're supposed to knock down. With a specific camera angle, I should be able to only get 2 of them that I need to progress. There we go. And with that, I'll do a strafe jump followed by a boomerang throw. So boomerangs, in addition to letting us hit things at range, also let us stall in the air a bit, and that's very useful because the fastest way to move in the air is by strafing, like so. But you can't tail whip after a strafe jump. So normally we use a tail whip to stall in the air, but that's not possible, so boomerangs are the second best thing for that. Whoops. And alright, we're coming up to the end of this level. Just some careful platforming, fish avoiding. And there's dynamite enemy here. Pay very close attention to them because they never appear again in the game at all. There we go, that's their only appearance. Alright, great trees. Once again, not freeing beavers because we have something against them or something. Their forest is kinda lame. Here is a skip that doesn't work on the Steam version. You can just jump over the invisible wall and straight to the bottom. And because of that, this part of the level is unloaded. And there's holes in this bridge that I'm jumping across, so that's all memorization. So that's the thing about this game, is a lot of the collision is always loaded, but the textures just load as they're needed. So if I skip a loading trigger, I'm doing the next section blind, and that's gonna come into play a bit later. But yeah, get used to that, because I will not be able to see anything. Coming up is another skip that will skip a load zone. So they're just gonna jump around the tree like this, and then jump down here. Nice, got it. Alright, sweet. So yeah, that wasn't that bad. As you can see, the textures started loading again pretty quickly. And alright, we are coming up onto the next skip, which actually I helped with. It's my biggest contribution to the game, which, hey, that's pretty cool, I think. So this is also another retail only skip. So you're gonna be jumping down here on this route, and then hitting a load trigger for the balloons here from outside. And normally you're supposed to... Oh, not do that. Alright, we'll do it again, that's fine. So normally you're supposed to hit those balloons so that each platform only has one left. And then it's like a straight path to the other side, but with a pretty precise jump, you can actually only hit this one once. There we go. And then onto the other side. And there we go. Something worth mentioning as well is some combat optimization in this game. So on the Steam version and like any other version, most enemies take between 5 and 10 hits. With the exception that the melee combo of 3 hits, which is punch, punch, and then a kick, usually kills enemies in a single combo. So the thing about the retail version is that's just made it. They just made it so if you hit an enemy with a kick, they will die instantly. On next updates, they made sure you have to hit the full 3-hit combo. But here, as long as I hit the kick, the enemy will die. And I'm seeing some excitement in chat over a specific thing, so maybe that's worth mentioning.
Yes, we have passed $4,000 raised for the Trevor Project, and that was thanks to a $300 donation from Shayla, who says, "Thanks to the amazing Power Up crew for making this thing happen. You're all my heroes." Heart. Less than 3.
That is great. Thank you very much. Very generous. But let's not stop at 4K. Got more to go.
Let's push as far as we can.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this is River Raid. It's a bit of a boring level. You're just going on a raft. Here's a damage boost. That's pretty cool, I think. So yeah, we're gonna be freeing beavers, which will let us pass down the river some more. And, you know, getting stars and coins in the process. And the important thing coming up here, if I don't get blown up, is this pair right here. These are the gay beavers. They are beavers and they are gay. Thank you for your attention. That's all I had to say about those.
KO says gay rights.
Absolutely. Alright, so a thing about the boat, the raft here is, as you can see, when you're about to dock, it starts slowing down a bit. But if you just punch the boat to like convince it to go faster, it just does. So that's a retail only thing that lets us save some time. We're just speeding up the boat as it docks. And yeah, you can see it here again. Just gonna punch it and then go faster. I'm actually gonna grab this checkpoint. I usually don't, but if I die here, that would be pretty bad. Alright. Oh, come on. This guy is my nemesis. There we go. Here's a perfectly normal climbing animation. Don't worry about it. So we're just gonna be coming over here. And freeing the last beaver of the run, I do believe. And as we wait for them to open up the gate for us. Just gonna collect some extra coins. And we are done with the raft. Thank goodness. Alright. We're almost at the cool part of the run. Well, not almost, but it's definitely gonna get cooler, if you know what I mean. Just climbing over here. Take some fancy springs to the end. I have never seen that one before. Alright. That's new.
It's never happened before?
Nope, absolutely never. So there you go. There is a marathon thing.
Gotta have one.
Always one. Alright. Take two. There we go. That's more like it. So get a couple of these chestnut enemies out of the way. And we're going to be now entering the first boss of the run. The shaman. This fight is just a 3-phase sort of. First you avoid the lightning that he fires, then you stomp the ground, break his mirrors because apparently we hate mirrors or something, and then just hit him a couple times with boomerangs. So I'm just gonna do this 2 more times, so if you have anything to say, to read, great time.
No new donations yet. But this guy's weird. He's got like an alien tractor beam as a barrier.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is a very strange game.
I'm sure it's like just a Polish thing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Alright, now we're almost done. One last stomp. And we're about to see the Terminator reference that this guy does for some reason. It's like, oh no, you hit me with boomerangs like 10 times. I will now go swim in lava. Goodbye.
I now know why you cry. I could never do. Oh, I didn't do an Arnie voice so well.
Oh no. Alright, so we're done with the shaman. I don't know what that was all about, but Hunter escaped into the train, so I'm gonna follow him. We're gonna go to the cool place. You know? It's pretty cool here. Jokes. There's a skip. There's like a whole section there where you like skate on ice and stuff just to get here, but that's lame. Just gonna jump over. Here the game also introduces us to spiders with their homing projectiles, which are definitely not one of the most annoying enemies in the game. Certainly not. Here's a little invisible ledge that you can walk on to make this jump. And here you're expected to come over to that enemy and get like a gliding hat to make it over here, but again, we don't need any of that. Oops. And here's, I think, the first proper out of bounds of the run. So just gonna jump over some invis walls. get on top of this roof, which is slidey for some reason, and get up here. So now we're out of bounds, and we're going to come over to this tunnel here. There we go. And you may be able to tell, but we're not supposed to be here, so we're just gonna get off. There we go. Didn't see a thing. No one noticed. Gonna try to maintain my momentum here through this cutscene. Nice. Got it. And gonna try to finish this. This part is kind of awkward because of the shaky ground and stuff. It can sometimes eat your jumps or like delay them in weird ways. So I usually take it like not as fast as other places. Just try to be a bit more careful. The ground also just kind of disappears from underneath your feet, which is not very fun. But alright, done with that, onto the ice cave. Funny trivia about this barrel segment is, as you can see, the spiders come down here, and we have to like fire boomerangs at them. There's a section, the next one I believe, where there's 2 spiders. Yep. And I believe the only way to not get hit by one of them is to throw your boomerangs literally frame perfect. Because otherwise, the other spider is always gonna hit you. So that's good game design. Big fan. I am getting hit by all the icicles. It's not very fun.
Damage boosting. Call it damage boosting.
Yeah, of course, of course. Yep. Speaking of boosting, gonna strafe jump with a boomerang over this hole, which actually skips a pretty long like minigame where you shoot down icicles to make platforms for yourself. I don't know, I've never done it. I've only seen it done once. Alright, as I slide through here, yeah, good time for some reading stuff.
Let's see. Just reminding everyone, Trevor Project is what this marathon is in support of. Trevor Project is the leading national organization providing crisis intervention and suicide prevention services to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning youth. You can check them out at www.thetrevorproject.org to access their services, find out more about the impact, or to donate. Of course, you can also donate to the marathon because that's where all the donations are going.
Sounds pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I think you should donate. But yeah, we're coming up to almost the end of this level. Just actually touch the string or spring. And here's like the last ice skating section of this level. I don't actually remember. There's more. I'm sure there is. Oh yeah, of course there is. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, this level is the last one. There's a fun little pillar here that doesn't actually exist. So we're just gonna jump right through. That's pretty fun. And maybe worth mentioning, but this version of the game, the retail Polish version, actually has a glitch where I don't really know the technical details behind it, but basically there's some sort of memory leak going on, and sometimes your movement speed on those like slides and stuff just loses its cap. So you just go crazy fast, and it's really funny. Also, 9 times out of 10 it kills the run because you can't control it. So that's fun. I hope it doesn't happen, but I have to mention it. So you can laugh when it does happen.
Or maybe it'll happen and you'll still beat it anyway.
Oh, that would be impressive.
There's a time to do it. Now's the time.
True that. If it does happen, I'll definitely give it a shot. But it usually doesn't really happen unless you've been playing for a while. And I restarted the game right before this. So hopefully we don't run into it. Or maybe hopefully we do. I don't know. It would be funny. But yeah, this is probably the longest autoscroller. Just a snowboarding section. Kind of reminiscent of the first game, but not really. At least you don't instantly die when you touch anything in this one. I feel like that's a little improvement. Speaking of, actually, the series as a whole, I don't know if people here are aware, but there's actually 3 games, 3 KO games, and there's a 4th one coming next year, which I'm excited for. It's gonna be pretty cool, I think. It's like the 3rd game came out in like 2005 or something, and it was a flop, and then 15 years later they announced another entry into the series. It's pretty cool. Also, this is the last sort of section of this level, and the icicles that this machine throws at you are completely random. So yeah, like that, I can just get hit.
I love that too.
Yeah, if the game wants me dead, then I will be dead. So let's hope it doesn't want that. There we go. And so now we enter Crystal Mines, which has some really cool strats. First of all, we're gonna take this totally not a nut, throw it at the button on the wall. I think that's also the only time that model of the nut appears. And we're gonna do some momentum maintain strats to get over here. Get hit by the spider, because of course. Alright. Oh my goodness. Let me actually focus a bit, because that specific jump is kind of tough to get fast, and I think it just looks really flashy, so I wanted to get it. And alright. Coming up fairly soon, sorry, I'll let you say something in a sec.
Fine.
But yeah, coming up soon-ish is a part that definitely makes sense. So look out for that.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's right after this spring here. Yeah. I'm also gonna get my 50th star here. And yes, it is here, but yeah. 50 stars, which means I get my first power up. And here is a bunch of ice platforms surrounded by lava because, temperature and stuff.
Everyone knows that it's fine as long as you don't touch the lava.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. No, that's just how ice works in Poland. Don't worry about it. But if you wanted to read something or say something,
I was just going.
go ahead.
I was just going to say we have a $25 donation from Torokasi. It says this seems like a really cool game. Thanks to SR for running it.
My pleasure. Always happy to show some love from the Kangaroo and raise money for a good cause.
There's also $10 from Flower35 that says, ugh, fine, I guess you are my little pog champ. Come here, Santa KO.
Oh my god. Thank you, Flower. Shoutouts to Flower. He's like a legend when it comes to knowing this game's ins and outs and modding it and stuff. Really, really great guy.
And
But yeah, this is the... Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say we also have a $2 1 cent donation from Anonymous with no comment.
Awesome. So yeah, this is the second boss. This is the station person. Again, 3 phases. First one, we get rid of these goons. And then in the second, we get on this nut launcher and fight him. And alright. Almost done. One last phase. This is the most annoying one when it comes to the enemies. Because they spawn like on the right and on the left and on the right again. Yeah, you can see here. There we go. And now just launch a bunch of nuts. There we go. That is the station. And coming up is, I guess the result of all the ice and water being together, because now it's all melted. And I said ice and water instead of ice and lava. Good job, me. Yeah, coming up is some water levels.
Well, depending on the game, lava is sometimes just different colored water.
True that, yeah. So yeah, first off we have a race. It's pretty standard, 3 laps. We have to win, and this is the first instance of the 1,000 ducats being rewarded for completing a level. So this race is actually about, oh my goodness, about winning 1,000 ducats from the pirate guys, I guess. Who knows? So it's pretty standard. As I said, 3 laps. I'm doing this weird motion with the boat. That's what happens when you try to boost, but you have no boost. And it is like slightly faster than swimming normally. So whenever I have no boost, I'm just gonna spam it. But I should be able to have boost through most of the race. I also jumped through some flaming hoops that opened up shortcuts for me to use, and weirdly enough, in this version, once you open them once, they stay open. In the Steam version of the game, they close on each lap, so you have to jump through the hoops again. But here it's just like, yeah, no, you got it. So instead I'm gonna opt for more boosts, more nitro. Because even if the nitro is like positioned at the end of a ramp, you can just grab it from underneath. Alright, last lap. And I want to try to show off this funny little thing. Nice, okay. Wasn't the longest, but if you time the little raising the nose of the boat to like get back down at the end of that fall, you can just sort of swim in the air for a bit. So that's pretty fun. But yeah, we're almost done. Just gonna cut this corner here. And there we go. That was the race. And now we go straight into water levels, which are actually quite fun in this game as opposed to any other game ever. And the reason for that, you'll see shortly. So there's this fun little rock here that I really like, so I want to just give it a nice little hug. You know? Just hug the wall really nice and close. And there we go. Now we will swim to the end of the level. This is how you make water levels fun. You just let me not play them at all. But yeah, there's just a bunch of swimming, so again, great time for reading as I miss this loading trigger and have to go back.
No new donations yet, but I do want to remind everyone who does donate that we have plenty of incentives for upcoming runs, and to remind y'all, don't forget to put any money that you donate towards a donation, towards a incentive, because that's something you gotta decide on for yourself, because we have so many options, and where it goes is up to you.
Are there any fun incentives coming up? What's the closest one?
Well, the next one is to choose the music for the Save the King level in Katamari Forever. Katamari Forever is in about 3 hours, and there appear to be 5 music options, and whichever is highest is the one that will be played. There's also choosing Xander's second sprite during Super Metroid / Link to the Past 2 Seeds 1 Controller race, and something called Animal Surprise, which is a surprise, so I can't tell you what it is.
I like surprises and I like animals. This seems like a nice combo. But yeah, welcome to Deep Ocean. It's a very deep and vast. As you can see, it appears to have no end. Except if I do a magic trick, the end suddenly appears in front of me.
Is this what the level looks like, or are you still out of bounds?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's out of bounds.
Okay.
Just went out at the start, and yeah, swam to the end. Pretty great. And now we're gonna make some sushi. Hopefully in a timely manner. So, as like every boss in the game, 3 phases of basically the same pattern. Kill the tentacles, and then fire some thing in some place on the squid. Don't worry about it. And then the squid gives birth to jellyfish, because of course it does. And so you have to get rid of those as well. Yeah, it's
interesting weak point on a boss.
It do be like that. Alright. Cool. It's gonna be the second torpedo. This fight can be pretty annoying. So when you get hit, you can't really turn or fire as well as you would normally. So it's like it's already pretty tricky to hit the tentacles well enough to get them all in one cycle, and getting hit just adds to the difficulty. As you can see there, it's just impossible. Also funny little, I don't know if you call it an oversight, but in the retail version, if you press the strafe key to like go slower, the game just takes away all your iframes. So if you get hit once, you just die from full health. It's pretty good. But yeah, now we get to the sushi making part. There we go. Bon appetit. Or something. But yeah. Now we're going to the tropics, which is gonna be fun. I'm actually gonna grab these coins because I'm a bit low.
Świetnie. Zebrałeś 50
The fairy is gonna tell
gwiazdek
us
i udoskonaliłeś
all
jedną
about
ze swoich umiejętności.
my new ability. What we got
Teraz skaczesz dalej.
for a second time.
Skakuj na mnie! Lecimy w
But yeah,
tropiki!
this is definitely the coolest part of the run, glitches wise. So get hyped, I guess. First, we're getting introduced to
Gotowi? Start!
flying with the pelican, which, you know, first thing we do is, of course, escape with that. So, yeah. The pelican mechanics is he can flap his wings 5 times, and then he cannot do it anymore. But the longer you wait between each flap, the more speed and height he loses. So you basically want to do them like all right one after another. And he's gonna leave us now. For now. As we slowly but surely make our way to the next skip. Which, I guess it's just a pretty standard out of bounds. Technically, tiny skip here. There is a flying hat, but I have one already, so I'm not gonna use that one. Just ledge grab there. And yeah, coming up here is barrel skip, which skips a barrel. Who knew? So there's like another swimming in a barrel section a bit further along here, but instead of that, I would much prefer to go out of bounds completely and walk on this invisible tunnel thing. Gonna use my shadow to line myself up. There we go. Now here's a fun part, because this is pretty precise, and sometimes, okay, good. Sometimes the camera on this version can just go like in front of KO and then you lose all control and die horribly. It's not very fun, but I think I've got a setup that works pretty well. So that skips that, but don't worry, we're almost at the end of the level, but we're not done with the skips. This is probably one of the more flashy ones. So I entered this section from a weird sort of place, and because of that the lava down here never starts rising. And so I can get off the pelican, wait for him to fly all the way up there, and then walk into where I would get on him again. And so naturally the game just lets me on him again, even though he's all the way up here. And now I have the super pelican which walks and jumps twice as high and is impossible to control. And you can also control him in the cutscene here. But yeah, I did that. That was cool.
Pelican cloning. Very ethical.
Yeah, pelican cloning, pelican warping, just all sorts of good things. So we're now on to the second level of the tropics, and don't worry, there's still more wacky stuff to do. So coming up is what we call Blind Pelican, and you will see why in just a second. First of all, doing this long glide here lets me skip the entire island back there. And now the pelican tells me all about how I can collect fish, which are flying fish, I guess, to refresh his energy so that he can flap 5 more times. And now, because of that long glide I did, this part of the level, the textures are not loaded. So I'm actually gonna focus a bit. That was really close. Alright, try again. Alright. I'm confused. So I'm trying to grab like an invisible fish and it's just not cooperating right now. One here, one here. There we go. Okay. Third try. Honestly, could have gone far worse. For, doing the whole thing with no reference. Just from memory. It's definitely one of my favorite tricks in the run, but it's tough. Alright, I'm done with that, but not done with glitches. Because as you may remember, I noted that when you unload an area, most of the textures unload, but most of the collision stays. This is actually not true for this one gate that we have to get through. So I'm going to intentionally fail this and deload the area here to unload this gate, which is again one of the few things of collision that actually unloads with the textures. And that lets me skip the entire ball section and just lets me go. You just go.
Wet gate.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Ouch. Alright. So we're almost at the end of this level. Just one mean person with a gun standing in my way. I like those crabs, but screw them. So get rid of this balloon, and then our friend Pelican flies down again. And we're out of here. Cool. So Volcano, which is the last level in the Tropics segment. Can you guess where we're gonna go?
A volcano?
I suppose in a way, yeah. But first, we're gonna climb this wall and get on top of the volcano rather than inside it, because who wants to do things the intended way? Just gonna set this up a bit slowly. Cool. I usually don't get this part of the level to load, just this one here. So that made it a bit easier. But yeah, so we went out of bounds, skipped basically the middle half of the volcano, and that spring just conveniently sticks out a tiny bit out of bounds, so you can actually touch it from outside and get back in. Just in time to get to the big ball of lava to chase us for some reason. Don't worry about it.
As established earlier, it's only bad if it touches you.
Exactly. So, the unfortunate thing about this is because I did the whole section out of bounds, I never got any checkpoints. So if I die here, it's all the way back to the start. But that shouldn't happen. I'm sure I didn't just jinx it by saying that.
Yeah, you got this.
We got this. Got a checkpoint. We're good. Alright. So, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, we don't get to skip the whole volcano. But we did skip the bulk of it with that out of bounds. So now we're just gonna run through the rest. Play a crane game, you know. The good stuff.
But does the crane
So,
do at all?
I don't think so. Unfortunately. But I suppose worth mentioning is... So the whole thing with this volcano is there's treasure inside it. And that's where the other 1,000 ducats come from. Is the treasure. And then after this level, normally we would have a boss fight. Except, the only thing gating us from the next level after this one, after the boss, is the money requirement. So, because we get the next 1,000 at the end of this level, and nothing from the boss, there's nothing stopping us from just getting the 1,000 ducats, going back to the hub, and going straight to the level that requires the money, skipping the boss entirely. So, we're just gonna do that, you know? We're just gonna fish up 20 of these gold chests, I guess, that have been chilling in the lava for some reason. And we're just gonna quit to the hub. So I'm a tiny bit short. I'm 6 coins short of the 3,000, but that's fine. There's like 50 coins in the hub that you can collect, so we will just do that. There we go. The money starts counting up, so I can just quit out. Gonna break some stuff, you know, good old vandalism. To get paid, and there we go.
Gdzie lezie? Ma kasę?
Wyobraź sobie, mięśniaku, że mam. Proszę, tu
Alright,
są pieniądze.
and we're in abandoned
Czas
town,
rozprawić się z
having
handlerem.
never fought the pirate boss. So this is basically the end game. This is like the last area of sorts. Only, I believe, like 3 levels left. Yeah, just 3. So we're gonna come over here, jump off this box, all the way up here, skipping like a big part of this section. And then also gonna skip another big part by just gliding over here. Hopefully the camera doesn't freak out. Okay. It did freak out a little bit, but it's not nearly as bad as it can be, so we take those. That is a W in my book. And now I did some glide hat shenanigans to get out of bounds. because, you know, it's not a KO run if you're staying in the level for too long. And we're gonna do this whole section again with no textures. Because, you know, who needs those? And go past this guy. And I did not get a checkpoint. So, hope I don't die. Haha. But yeah, this is a section where, like, there's a pirate ship that shoots at you and breaks the floor underneath. But I never loaded it. So you cannot see the ship firing at me. And you also cannot see the ship docking over there to the right. So it'll look like I just come over here and jump into the water. I'm actually entering the ship. And this is actually Hunter's ship. Hunter's galleon, I believe is the name. Where he trapped a bunch of animals and stuff. So we're gonna hopefully free them. At least some of them. Gonna free all of the ones that are fast, okay? I think you'll forgive me for not freeing the ones that are super slow to free. This is a speedrun after all. And yeah, and then we have our final duel with Hunter. So I'm just doing some platforming to skip stuff, and I feel like this the like level skips here are pretty self-explanatory. Like, I'm gonna glide across instead of jumping around because it's faster, you know. Pretty basic stuff. Alright. So here's the parrot that is asking us for help. But I am afraid that it's too slow to help them, so...
No cracker for Polly this time.
Unfortunate. You truly do hate to see it. But instead we're gonna just line up like this. Stand on here. Glide over to the cage. Glide over here. And enter the void. Because, you know, all good ships have the void. And that's Hunter. So, again, three-phase fight. But this time with a twist. The phases don't actually repeat. This is the first one where we have to hit him twice whenever he stops at the other side of the ship to get him to fly across. And he will do that 6 times, I want to say, 5 or 6. And then we'll progress on to phase 2. So this is 4.
Interesting strategy of setting one's own ship on fire.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, he just doesn't like kangaroos. Alright, so that was the first phase. Now the parrot, which we definitely freed them, so they're gonna help us now. And they're gonna put us in as inconvenient of a spot as possible. I guess as revenge for not freeing them. So now I have to get across this very long bridge that is horribly made. I don't know who made this, but they should not be making bridges. And Hunter tries to blow us up, drown us, you know, whatever hunters do. And now he's gonna come down and fight us. Time is coming up, by the way. Whenever the cutscene plays and the final boomerang hits Hunter. So... time.
GG.
Alright. I'm not sure what the time was on stream, but for me, on my own timer, that was a really low 59, which is APB by over a minute. So that's cool. That run didn't go perfectly smoothly. It had some hiccups, but overall that was pretty good.
And yeah, on
Nice.
stream, your time was also a low 59, so
All right, sweet.
PB cemented.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed. If you like animal games, then don't worry. There's another one coming up right after this. Yeah. So I guess we'll go into an intermission thing.